descente est trop haute. Enfin, toi, ta personne, elle est trop haute. T'es là, quoi. T'es là par rapport à la caméra.
Oui, mais en
Ouais,
soi, il n'est pas.
moi, je me mets comme ça. Tu vois, j'ai mis mon trépied comme ça. Et
Ouais, je suis pareil.
moi, je suis là, tu vois.
Oui, mais moi, j'aimais bien la.
T'es là ou t'es là?
Là. Ah. Oui, c'est encore trop.
On va pouvoir le monter.
Ouais. Sinon, je peux monter un peu plus là.
Hello and welcome to live coverage of Spring Tour 2024 in Grenoble. We've got a great matchup for you now. It's Tequila Boom Boom, the Italian side against the Austrians, Catchup. Tequila are on offense and advancing the disc down the field. Seems to be some kind of a zone setup that is exploited very well by the Italian side. La Fiata, the one player to watch for sure for Tequila, puts it into the end zone. And that's a great first score for Tequila Boom Boom. We have a replay of that. Look at that beautiful part there. As well. La Fiata, of course, a well-known player on the Italian side. She was probably the player to watch in the mixed division last year. And also is the person with the most stats. If you believe in stats, you know? She has 10 assists and 5 goals combined, making that an 11th one for her. So these teams, this is still a pool play game. And it works as kind of a quarterfinal, as you saw there, because the team that wins here will go on to be part of the bracket. See Daw putting the disc over the top and near that far side. Inside shot goes off. And they're looking for a continuation, very static play. They get it into, I think that's Neely. Nice around shot to Atna. And a continuation to Daw. A pick call on the field that did not probably affect the catch Satina made. So they're working it well in the handler set, but not quite managing to advance, and a violation on the field, which means one of the players moved too early before the disc was checked back in. The disc will be at stalling 3. And they will move back and forth in the handling again, as they did before. Nice inside shot to Otna. Satina gets off a wobbly pass, but that's connecting. And that's a up the line score for Catchup. And they even it out at 1-1. So very handler dominant play by Catchup. Not really an active cutting that, but it doesn't matter if you have the ability of the handlers. You can outrun your opponents every time. Easy. You see the hockey assist by Otna. This is Tina, and that's an up the line pass. I think it's Kansmeyer, but I'm not 100% sure. To be so I know all the Catchup cards play rather well because I'm also Austrian, and just to make sure there is gonna be a bias, obviously, because it's gonna be easier for me to talk about the players. But I've also played against Tequila Boom Boom a couple of times, and I hope I can also provide some intel on them. So they're set up in a horizontal stack, looking for an option, and going back to a handler. Rossi with the hammer over the top to La Fiata. Oh, but that one is too far for the paw-framed player, and Catchup get the opportunity to break early in the game. Reset to Neely. A nice inside shot up the line. Back into the middle and onto that near side now. Neely and Justic. And that shot is in double coverage, but a score. What a nice way to break. And that's the other Ordner, Maya. Then Maya Ordner, and then into the end zone for Helge. And that's for them here. 2-1. We've got Tequila Boom Boom back on offense and a very open player, as there's some kind of a zone set up from Catchup. And they're really working it through quite nicely. That close to the defender, but not quite there. And Lafiata finds an open player in the end zone. So that's a score for Tequila Boom Boom. We got a replay of it here. And a nice sliding grab by Timeroli. So Lafiata adds one more to her scoreline. You can see how important she is for this team. Of course, the Rimini team, Tequila Boom Boom, known for their young and athletic talents and overall good structure in games, and they're really showing that early. Albani with the pull. Fielding it is Justic to Neely. Back to Justic. Interesting three-person handler setup for Catchup. Now they're switching it up to a two-person one. Kinds. And then Justic with the nice distribution to the far side. And Fergus is going to launch it deep. Two players near the disc, but none of them really attacking it actively enough. So Tequila get the disc back and try and get a break. Pala here. Got a hand, stretch her hand out to try to get it. Not quite there for the catch. So Tequila Boom Boom have to work the disc down the other side, but an immediate drop on that first pass makes an easy catch for Catchup possible, but it's a rather hard one, actually. We'll get a replay of it again. It was to Keneally, and then she puts it into the end zone, seemingly for Kreitz, but she misreads it in the layout from the back. Unfortunately, we haven't really seen who that was. So Kreitz misreads it and then falling down and catching it is probably Maya Odno. Yeah, I think it's Maya Odno who probably like slipped and had to. That's why she had to lay out. We'll get another perspective again here. I can confirm that's Maya Odno with the score. So 3-2 for Catchup. Got that one break. Started on the defense. And the pull lands out the side. Very key to pick up. You can hear the wind blowing through. And Catchup get a turn again. Draw. To Keinsmeyer, and that intended throw for Kribitzer just dropped by the wind, and Tequila Boom Boom make it a quick transition to playing offense again. Players weren't really on the same page with this one. The disc drops around again. Draw to put Satsuki. And Keinsmeyer is gonna shoot it deep. But that only hits the ground. Rikki again. And tight defense for Catchup, but doesn't mind the pressure. Akanjeli looks for an option. The star count must be high now, and Rikki gets an easy pass. Interesting structure from the Italians. A lot of people behind the disc. And La Fiata is going to get it and put it deep. But under cover from the defense. You see she's only running a triangle and then putting it deep. Not the ideal deep shot because it's rather hanging. Where the advantage was in speed and not in size for the Italian player. And that disc hits the ground again. La Fiata quick to pick up. Akangeli with the inside shot. And that only hits the ground as well. It seems to be really hard to score in that far end zone due to the wind. So every throw that is a little bit further off doesn't work out too well for them. The inside shot there. Nice idea. She would have gotten it probably, but it just lands. It's undercooked, lands on the ground. And Dahl is already to play again, but the same throw we saw before only hits the ground for them. Akangeli is going to pick up again. And that huck over the top for Akangeli works, and she's getting a goal on her own. Bit of frustration there from the defense, as it was a rather long and exhausting point for sure. You see that huck Grossi to Akangeli. Nice put, floating and high, and what a great read. You can see here the defender was in position. Could have gotten it as well, but with the angle of the throw, which is, arcing high and then moving to the left, or to the left side of your screen a little bit, puts the offensive player in a very good position. We're all tied up at threes after this longer point. And Albani with the pull again. Still an under 20 player, but a very good one. Already a lot of experience under her belt. As they're still with the zone. It's an interesting 4 people in this first line. So not sure if it's a 4-person cup per se, or one marker and then 3 people immediately behind it. But they're putting a lot of pressure on the handlers with that and trying to minimize the options. But I just wanted to say, but Catchup worked through it well until that last pass is a bit undercooked out of the direction of Kynes, who was running towards the disc, towards the sideline, and the disc was going into the middle of the field. Pironi picking up. Nice leading pass and faking the big throw twice and not taking it there. But they're moving to the other side of the field, and Albani, another big fake out of her. Into the middle, good hands by Pironi. And that disc just out of reach and goes out the side. Nice effort to run with it and see whether it goes in again, but that doesn't work out for them, and they're back in. Tequila Boom Boom are back in their zone setup, and Catchup guards back on offense. Nearly on that far side. Justic to Kynes. And there's not too much pressure on the handlers. They can easily work it through and wait for the big shot to come up. And that one is caught well and deflected in the last second. But caught on the second attempt? It does seem like it. So deflected by the receiver, but by the defense. But apparently there was a toe in the back. There we can see it. Schutzwill gets the catch here, just in front of the outside, in front of the end zone line in the back. Julia Merli with the run through, but couldn't get it on the second attempt. Tequila Boom Boom out on offense. It does seem like Catchup opted for matchup coverage. La Fiata on that near side finds a nice inside angle, but the disc dropped out of the hands, giving Catchup a chance for a break. Podstatski to Daw. Back to Podstatski again. We've seen Catchup do very well in the handler space, but really lacking options deep. And they're taking one here, but this one always gonna go out the side. It's Alda with the put. And it's unfortunately one can't see the lines too well, but it does seem like it's just a little too far out the side. Maybe the intended target actually just gave up on it as the stick. They're picking it up in the middle, or like rather middle of the field. Second effort, throw goes up and immediately hucking it deep to Posadzki with the great defensive effort. But a stoppage on the other side. Might give the disc back, or no? It's turnover stance. Posadzki with the disc in hand and 3 handlers set up. Alda with the rundown. And to Alda again. Does seem like they're forcing to the sides always. So forcing line in their matchups are Tequila Boom Boom. That would work for them as they're on offense now. And they get the disc to the middle. It's always one of the hardest things to get the disc into the middle after a turn on the side. But Briolini gets it to Rossi. Rossi with some nice fakes. Opening up the inside. La Fiata puts the disc into space, and 2 players from Tequila Boom Boom so open. And we'll see the replay here of Arcangeli, La Fiata, and now completely open. Chiara Temeroli was already pointing for the disc earlier, and the defender just slept there. And Temeroli was in so much space. You can see she has ages. And Briolini was also in the mix there. Nice big pull. And the zone really putting pressure on. There's a big hammer over the top by Kynes, and a nice one at that reception. Neely looking for a player to get it off and has to go deep because of the stall count rising. Kynes would have been underneath it, but the disc was too far. Probably carried on further by the wind. You can see how this 4-person cup really puts pressure on the thrower this time around. Di Lauro puts it over to the side. And Ascari with the crazy layout as Di Lauro takes off her shoe for a second and gets it back on here. And Ascari has to go back and around to Di Lauro again. Nice gainer. That's Di Lauro now. And Albani. That one goes very high and over. And Schutzwild with the block. Kreins looks for an option downfield, but only finds Justic. Nice grab for Kneely through coverage. And she gives and goes. They seem to have really figured out that zone now. And cross pass for Catchup Gats and for the score. I think Schutzwild was the throw for sure. And then a catch. So Schutzwild puts it into space. Unfortunately, can't see who that was. Two. But a nice throw, seeing that the defenders couldn't get there in time. (5-4) in favor of Catchup. They're comfortably sitting on one break. Tequila Boom Boom advancing down the field. They're already in the red zone, and Lafiata puts a deep shot up. 2 players in pursuit. And that's a score for Tequila Boom Boom, and an easy one at that. Yes. Akangeli, Lafiata into, I believe that's Ascari. He finds the end zone. That's a very nice use of the back of the end zone. Of course, there's a lot of pressure always in the front, but to go over the top of the defenders and go to the back, it's very well done by them. So 5-5 the score. Of course, Tequila Boom Boom have yet to drop a game, I believe. They have not yet lost. they played 10-5 over Queen Kong, 13-3 over Solar Bang, and 12-10 over Jet Set Love. And Catchup Graz lost to Love in Universe. So whoever wins this now is going to be in the semi-final later today. And a defense from Tequila Boom Boom and a hand block from Breitwieser gives the disc right back to Catchup. Nice slash there. And Breitwieser is going to launch one deep for Ortner, who is very open. In a good position in the red zone. Kleins zu Breitwieser and over to Neely. Lustig now fakes the deep shot. And what a grab by Felgic. On that goal line. And now they're putting it into the end zone. Two offensive player there in space. And Maya Ordner brings the score for Catchup Graz. So we see some really nice red zone flow from Catchup, moving the disc from one side to the other, and then a well-timed continuation by two players. One of them sit with the score. Pole goes up from Catchup. Lands in bounds this time. And there's a discussion on the field. La Piazza saying Maya Ordner slashed into her. Ordner talking about the line that she took, probably. I'm, of course, getting that from the hand signals. Rossi offering her perspective. So it's an accepted foul. La Piazza will keep the disc. Nice inside shot. La Piazza gets it back. Into the middle for Ricci, and she's going to put it up floaty and deep, and what a perfect catch for Tequila Boom Boom. They even it out 6-6. The Meroli with the score. Ricci puts it up. High release past the lefty. See, it floats over all the defenders. So 6-all, and there seems to be a timeout taken. We saw that timeout and some information on the changes in the ranking system that'll happen on Monday. So tune in, make sure to check the EUF website and sign up for the newsletter to get all the information you need as Catchup are working their way through the Italian zone. They're now trapped on the sideline, exactly where they want him to be, and a nice layout by Lustig to keep possession. And miscommunication, but Neely very aware of what's happening, getting that disc now through the middle. Fergic to Breitwieser and into the ground. La Piazza picks up quickly, up the line to Ascari, and Ascari puts it deep into the end zone for the score for Tequila Boom Boom. And that's a break, their first break, and we are back on serve. Well done from Tequila Boom Boom to start there quickly with Merlini. And this appeared to be halftime. So that was a break for half for Tequila Boom Boom. But since we're on serve now, just means that Catchup will receive to get the disc in the second half. Start offense. So the second half is underway. Catchup with some last minute instructions. And the pull goes up to him. Different kind of a zone from Tequila Boom Boom now, an arrowhead kind of style, preventing the disc from moving in. Oh no, it's actually the same zone, it's just a bit of different personnel. Well, I won't say anything yet, because now Tequila Boom Boom is on offense. They got that disc off, and Grossi is faking it deep and going for Lafiata. The disc is hanging, and the wind caught it just in the right moment for Lafiata, and both defenders do not be in position anymore. Grossi looks deep, finds Lafiata. She would be in a perfect position to attack the disc unless the wind just takes it away, and it does. Kynes through the middle. Krivisa sets up Maya nicely and gets it here. Dar. Over to Postatsky, and it's actually Lena Odner through the middle to Dar. There's 4 people in the handler set that actively work around the disc, and they're really doing well at exploiting the open spaces, with Donna looking for the right option. That's a nice catch by Postatsky, called inbounds just about. Ribisa on that near side now goes all the way to Odner. Hansmeyer back around and into the end zone for the score. What a nice flow there from Catchup Graz. Again, very well at this handler movement and using the handler space well. Which only makes it easier for them if Tequila Boom Boom play a zone. So I would really love them to try and put more pressure on the handlers, as it seems super easy for them to advance the disc. For Catchup, that is. Crossi with the sliding grab, puts it to Lafiata, but nice tip off by Fergic, getting up there and slashing the disc to the ground. But that's a defense by Ascari, and an overthrow will give Catchup a chance to break yet again. Nice huck deep, and a good reception by Fergic. Just in the right space. High grab for Justisch. As she puts it up into the air, and Fergic scores the break for Catchup. Justisch going inside and around, and Fergic all alone. With a player like her, you can't leave her anywhere. She will exploit the second that you don't look at her. You can see Grossi is kind of poaching here in that left corner, and Fergic recognizes that very well, and in the right moment just runs away to the other side of the field. A lot of space there, and she gets the disc. It's also a break for Catchup. And Ricci is going to punch it deep immediately to La Fiata. Two defenders underneath, and both of them, or one of them, at least one of them, gets the That's something we haven't seen Tequila Boom Boom do a lot with it, which is just isolate La Fiata, and it might be because Catchup really knows that they have to stop her from scoring or from being a threat. Although with a player like La Fiata, similar to Fergic on Catchup, in my opinion, it's so you have to limit them. Not sure. Oh, what a nice grab by Alda. So aware of where the disc is in space. Very well done. So with these players, you have to limit them. And they're trying to limit La Fiata, her ability to go deep and get these over-the-top passes. Again, a really nice second effort by Dor. Catchup Graz seeming to be very aware. This time around, though, Arcangeli jumps in, waiting for the disc rather than attacking it themselves. And was there a hand on that disc? And the Dor get a hand block on La Fiata there? We'll see the replay. So La Fiata puts it in there, and it doesn't seem like Dor actually did anything at all. It just seems like the wind pushed that disc down to the ground as they get a nice reception to the other Dor sister, Sophia. And again, second effort. Kind smile to Bostatsky. And Alda puts it deep. Nicely done. Now they're really advancing to the middle of the field. But bobble it. Grossi. I was looking for a deep shot. Find Arcangeli instead. Ricci to Arcangeli. Arcangeli pointing to have someone come back to her closer. as it's not too easy to throw in this wind. Grossi with a lot of fakes. And Arcangeli in space, and she's free, but the disc floated away from her and only finds the ground. Maya is going to launch deep immediately. It's floating for a while, but nothing that Wadna could have done. There was another player in pursuit as well, but too far for both of them. You can see, I don't think Dara was necessarily aware of the fact that the disc even went up. She could have gotten there, probably, from the position, but that one always picked up by the wind. You can see the flags really fluttering just right behind the Force flag and the European Ultimate Federation flag. And it does seem like there's a timeout taken by Tequila Boom Boom. So we're back after the timeout. Arcangeli with the disc. Puts it into the middle immediately. Nice reception by Ascari with the layout. And puts it over the top for La Fiata. And La Fiata, again, just up the line into space. Ascari tips, throws. Arcangela, rather. And Ricky believes she was inside the end zone. And the Catchup Gods player does not. So Ricky gets it on the goal line and puts it into Arcangeli. The two of them really working every other and getting that much needed score after the Catchup Gods break. So Ricky just tapping it in. And with that lefty backhand, putting the disc at 2. the end zone.
Là. Je peux essayer de faire une réduction de bruit de vent si j'ai un truc pour le bruit. Ouais, tout va bien. Ok, c'est bon. Je sais pas. On peut essayer. On va essayer comme ça. Ouais.
8-8 with about 15 minutes left in this game. And Tequila Boom Boom get a chance to break back. And that's a high stall situation catch. And that's a catch as well for Tequila Boom Boom. They get the break in one pass. That is a stressful high stall situation, and Pironi gets it into the end zone. Of course, you can see the flags and the wind, knowing the intense conditions. And you can see Neely in pursuit. They're really trying still, but can't get there. So Tequila break back. Tequila's D-line's mostly staying out on the field. Albani with the pole. It lands nicely on that far side as Daw. So into the middle. Then over to Postatsky. They're back with that 4-person cup. And a lot of options. Goes back and around in a ballerina turn. And Daw now to Grebissa and Postatsky. Slashed from one side of the field to the other to get it here. It's back around to Alda. Now Ordner. Gives and goes with Postatsky. And what a nice defensive effort by Albani there, but body contact initiated by her as well. So there's going to be a discussion with Albani and Alda. Bit of a reenactment going on, but they'll keep discussing. It's turned out to be a rather long discussion. So it's going to be a contested foul, and the disc goes back to the thrower. Kanzmeier with the disc. Start coming in on 3. And they're actually just in front of the end zone. Nice inside shot there. Moving and going and orbiting on the mark for the inside score. Nice find for Catchup Graz, and they even out the score at 9-9. See the inside shot here, rather far away from the mark and a very open player in the end zone. Gives the score to Catchup. See here, Ivani tried to poach off and help on that near side end zone cone, which opened up the middle of the end zone better. Nearly pulling for Catchup. Caught by Akanjeli, put into Riki. Grossi. Back to Riki, and Lafiata drops the disc. It's around it's around the break point actually for Catchup Graz. If they can punch it in here, that would be an important break late in the game. Inside shot. Well, Kai and another inside. And that's too far and goes out the side before she has the chance to catch it. Arcangeli putting the disc back into play. Going arching around to Briolini and Grossi in the middle. Lafiata looks for the windup and goes dish instead. Arcangeli not reactive enough for that dropping down disc, and Neely's gonna just put it deep into the end zone. Felgic gets there with the jump in, and that's a break for Catchup. They lead 10-9. Effortless throw and a lot of effort on the catch to actually get it into the end zone, but great body awareness by Felgic, knowing if she can put that one foot up, the right one, early enough, she can leap into the end zone. Nice reception there. Get one more look of it. Really just putting it in. It was also Otna was near there, so could have been the goal scorer as well, but it was Felgic this time. Arcangeli. And Ascari bubbles the disc. No pressure, no defender near her whatsoever. It's very open, but doesn't prevent her from not connecting with that one. Potsetsky to Odna. Over to Kansmeyer. Back into the middle and low catch for Posadzki. Great grab and a pick that did not affect the throw at all. So the disc stays with Posadzki. Nice up the 9 shot. And that one's a score for Sophia Dor. Sophia for Catchup, and that's another break, which puts Catchup in a very good position late in the game. 2 breaks in a row. 3 scores for them. We'll see it again. Just a very good continuation. Saw that the defender was a bit on the wrong side, orbiting around with them. You can see the 2 or 3 steps she takes are quicker than the ones of Barini, and that help. That's enough, and there's a timeout on the field. Tequila Boom Boom 9, Catchup 11, with around 3.5 minutes on the clock. Catchup back on D, trying to get a 3rd break in a row. Nice leading pass for Arcangeli. And now La Fiata, who's been rather quiet this game. Arcangeli really running the show here. And Albani with nice efforts to keep the disc alive. In the second attempt, Enrique gets a disc thrown into her face, preventing her from catching it at all. And Catchup can go up by 3 now. Nice grab by Kreins. She fakes that big huck. It goes to Justich instead, and nearly in the middle now. Over the side to Ordner. And Kreins again, winding up, going for it in the second time. And that's another break. Fergic gets the score for Catchup again. You see Kreins winding up, making sure Fergic is alone. So this now, an interesting turn in favor of Catchup. They could go on to the final, semi-final. As this is, it is a pool game, but it also symbolizes a quarterfinal. Because whoever wins this game gets one of the 2 spots that pool has for the semifinals. So it does look like time is over. And Tequila Boom Boom are advancing the disc down the field. Arcangeli to Grossi. Around to Pironi. And Lafiata in loads of space. Puts the disc up into space and player goes to ground. I think that's Merli. She's okay though. She jumps right up again. Nice put into space from Lafiata, but the defender got there first and ran through the disc. Bit undercooked maybe. And Merli trying to still get there. You see such a nice cut from Lafiata going towards and then moving away from the thrower again. But not back and around to Fergic. Now high to Kansmeier. Fergic going every other with Dahl. Dahl to Fergic again. And the zone setup that Tequila Boom Boom are putting on just does look a little tired, and as if it does not prevent the handlers from swinging around easily as they now move from one side of the field to the other. And a run through block from Tequila Boom Boom gives them the opportunity to score. Albani in so much space, and she bubbles the disc. That's happened so many times for Tequila Boom Boom that they actually do get somewhere, not to the end, but closer, and then they just bobble the disc, and Felgic is going to put out a deep shot off herself. That's caught well by Keinsmeyer. Looks for an option. Alda dishes it to her, and Alda puts it into space for Dor. 13-9 for Catchup. And from the sound of this, it does seem like the time was over before the last point was played. So this could be... Not so sure if there's another point to be played after this one. Or if Catchup have actually gotten the upset and won over Tequila Boom Boom, giving them a spot in the semifinals. It does seem like the game is over, and Catchup Graz will advance to play the semifinals and play to win this spring invite. Thank you very much for tuning in. I've been Christina Obermeier, and I hope you have enjoyed this coverage and will be back for more spring tour action that's coming up today. The games are only going to get better now as we're moving towards semifinals and finals, so don't miss out on any of the action. Thank you very much, and see you again soon.
rappelle. Ouais.
Hello and welcome back to Spring Tour. We are on to semi-finals in the Open Division here in Grenoble. I'm Christina Obermeier and I'm pleased to talk about this game here. It's Chuck taking on Monkeys from Grenoble. So they have the benefit of the home turf, but both of these teams, of course, French. So it's going to be a very good game. These two teams have not met yet. Not this tournament. As I do believe that's Monkeys with their first score.